Good morning, everybody. Brad's sermon on Sunday was headed to know God, you must know Jesus. The whole time Brad was preaching, it was burning in me. The fact that there was a verse in the Bible that said, listen to him. And just it was incredible that this morning we actually touched on Matthew 17. That's what we were reading as a church together. And Matthew 17 was about the transfiguration of Jesus, which we read about in that chapter. And in verse 5 in particular, there's a voice that comes and says, "This is my beloved Son, whom I love, and with him I am well pleased. Listen to him." Now, as we know, at this mountaintop experience, Moses, who represented the Mosaic law, and Elijah, the prophets, appear. And Peter wants to put up 3 shelters, one for Jesus, one each for Moses and Elijah. And he gets very excited about this. But we must remember we cannot put Jesus on the same level as the law and the prophets. Jesus actually came to fulfill the law and the prophets. Jesus wants to have a relationship, a personal relationship with each one of us. And we're reminded of that verse in Ephesians 2 verse 8 that says, "For it is by grace you have been saved, through faith, and this not from yourselves. It is a gift of God." And how do we get to know Jesus better? Brad made 3 points. He said through the Word of God. When you pick up this word, you open the Word of God to get to know the Word of God, Jesus, the bread of life, through prayer and by coming to church. And I love that expression that Brad gave. He said, church is an incubator for growing in faith. And that leaves lots of room for thought. It's absolutely incredible. We need each other. At his transfiguration, getting back to Matthew 17, the disciples fell face down and were terrified. But Jesus came and touched them, saying, "Get up, don't be afraid." When they looked up, they saw no one except Jesus. I just pray for each one of us that we would see Jesus in our everyday lives, that we would look up from the circumstances we're in and experience and see Jesus, that we would learn to see him in the Word of God, that we would communicate with him because he's our friend, and that we would come to church and allow our faith to grow by interacting with each other and fellow disciples. And so, guys, I just pray that for today and the rest of this week, we would grow closer and understand and get to know our Jesus better. May you all have a wonderful day.